So veteran caregivers have been getting a lot more attention recently, especially with the passage of the Elizabeth Dole Act earlier this year. So we wanted to do a quick segment on the Program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers, PCAFC. It's a program that was launched in 2011 under the VA Mission Act. It supports family members who provide full-time care for injured veterans with benefits like a stipend paid directly to the caregiver, health insurance, and counseling. In 2025, VA announced that they were extending eligibility for legacy participants, so those already in the caregiver program, for their applicants and their family caregivers through September 30th, 2028. And that's really important because coverage was going to lapse for a bunch of folks as VA works out the process for transitioning people from the old criteria, legacy participants, to their new criteria they put out. So this will help these caregivers maintain their benefits for an extra 3 years as VA works on refining the program. So Elise, who is eligible for PCAFC?
Yeah, so there's some requirements for both the caregiver and for the veteran who's receiving the care. So first, with the caregiver, they must be over 18 years old and either a family member, so a spouse, a child, or a parent, or they can be somebody that's living with the veteran or willing to live with the veteran once the care starts. And they also must be designated by the veteran as either the primary or the secondary caregiver. Now, for the veterans, they must have, or they must be rated for a disability or a combination of disabilities at 70% or more. The disability that they need assistance for, care for, must be itself service-connected. So if you need, help for something that's not service-connected and you happen to have a 70% rating, you're not eligible. You must be service-connected for the issue that you need help for. And you also must need at least 6 months of help with personal care.
So after the caregiver applies, because again, this benefit it's obviously benefiting the veteran, but the actual financial part goes to the caregiver. So after the caregiver applies, VA assesses how much personal care the veteran needs. And so they're going to look at safety concerns. What memory issues are there? Is the veteran a fall risk? Is there suicidal ideation? They're going to look at lapses in awareness, situational awareness, any seizures, anything like that. They're going to examine, difficulties with life planning. Can you manage your medication or do you need assistance? Who's managing the finances? Who's dealing with the household tasks? Is the veteran participating or is it really all on the caregiver? Mental health systems, of course, mental health symptoms play a huge effect in the level of care you might need. So if someone is, pretty severely impaired due to a service-connected mental health condition, they're having hallucinations, mood swings, aggressive behavior, and that might indicate the level of care they need, sleep problems. And so really anything that kind of plays into what assistance you need with your personal day-to-day life, VA is going to take a look at. And so veterans are sorted thereafter into 3 different dependency levels, high, moderate, and low, based on how many hours of support the caregiver needs to provide to the veteran every week.
From there, primary caregiver benefits can include a monthly stipend that's going to vary, like you said, depending on the level. CHAMP VA health insurance, if they're not already covered, mental health counseling, respite care, which would be a minimum of 30 days per year, training and education in caregiving for the caregiver, and also travel benefits when they're accompanying a veteran to VA treatment.
And I think it goes without saying, but I don't think we really hit this. This program really is designed to compensate caregivers because they have to take a step back probably from their careers and their lives and their ability to earn a living to take care of the veteran. So all of this, the monthly stipend, the health insurance, the mental health counseling, all of these things are to help that caregiver be able to really give full-time care almost as a job to the veteran. And so that's why these benefits are so important and life-changing. But to apply, both the caregiver and the veteran have to fill out a VA form. We know VA loves their forms. It's 1010CG. And there's 3 ways to submit. You can submit it online at va.gov. You can mail it into the Evidence Intake Center. I would recommend doing online if you're able to. You can also go in person to your local VA medical center and connect with a caregiver support coordinator. But I really think your fastest bet, your most streamlined bet is probably going to be va.gov.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. After applying, VA is going to review your claim, and that's going to include a home visit to assess any environmental needs. It could potentially include a compensation and pension exam or a CMP exam, which we've talked about at length in other videos. Those would evaluate the functional needs of the veteran, not just the environmental needs at the house. And VA is also going to then assign the level of dependency. Like we said before, that's going to affect the stipend amount. Caregivers might also be asked to complete certain training modules. It's just going to depend on a case-by-case basis on that. But throughout the process, caregiver support coordinators through the VA will be available.
So VA's wrestled at times with implementation of this program. We have some other information about that. We have a pending court case about that you can read all about on our website. But it is a extremely important and sort of life-changing program for so many veterans and their caregivers who are benefiting from this program. So for more on the program, the benefits provided to caregivers, you can check out our website. We have some other articles there.